Hey, this is Matt once again. What about another video? This is a paid request this time from Marv B. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, reactions, whatever, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. It could be a good movie, it could be a bad movie, it could be in between movie. And if it's not a movie, if it's something else, feel free as well. I'm kind of lollygagging around because this is Hard Night Falling. I'm sure you're wondering what the... Well, other than the picture over there, you're wondering what the hell is this? And it's actually kind of cool to watch this because I love Dolph Lundgren. And this is one I had not seen. I can see why I had not seen. I can see why it gets like a, what, a 3.4? Sorry, I'm looking on my phone. Yeah, 3.4 in IMDb. At least that's it right now. I can see why. I can see why. I love Dolph Lundgren. I got a Blu-ray there of I Come in Peace, aka Dark Angel, drug dealer from outer space, shooting CDs, bouncing off bad guys' necks, or innocent civilians' necks. Alien drug dealer is getting people in the head, sucking out their endorphins, their brain juices for the drug of his choice. And Dolph Lundgren teams up with Brian Benman, the FBI agent, to chase the bad guy down. Love I Come in Peace. Love Men of War, very underrated film. Love Showdown Low Tokyo. Love Red Scorpion. Love The Punisher. I'm a big fan of Dolph. I always thought he was a very underrated action star, one of the more underrated ones. Even some of his direct-to-video stuff. I liked The Mechanic, also known as The Russian Specialist. Battle of the Dan, while it has iffy CGI on the robots, it's still Dolph fighting zombies. Better than the other Dolph fighting zombies, which was Dead Trigger, which he didn't get to fight a whole lot of zombies. Is one of the many problems with that film. But yeah, your Battle of the Damned, Battle of the Damned, that was fun for what it was. And The Defender, I mean, that's a film that had Jerry Springer as the president of the United States, and it still made the film work. And Jerry Springer actually wasn't that bad. But that was a pretty decent Dolph one. I liked... Oh, what was it? The one... Direct Action, I believe it's called. That was fun. I mean, there's a lot of clunkers in there too, like every action star. But there's some decent direct-to-video stuff. Not so much lately, but you say that for everybody. I did like Skin Trade. Another one I did like was Command Performance. Now the reason I get to that, almost 3 minutes in, Dolph directed that, and that was a Die Hard type of movie. Die Hard at a rock concert. Some people don't like the film, to each their own. I thought it was fun. Yeah, there's some slow spots here and there, but Dolph felt like he kicked more ass. I liked him being a drummer of a rock band. Dying is easy. Rock and roll, that's hard. I mean, he stabs a bad guy with drumsticks into someone's neck. I mean, he fucked someone up with a guitar. I mean, again, despite issues here and there, that's a fun direct-to-video movie. And I stress that because when I watch a movie like this, I'm not expecting Commando, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Hard Target. I'm not expecting Aliens. I'm not expecting even, Terminator 2 or Die Hard. But I'm expecting something at least to the level of a Command Performance or Direct Action or something to that effect. If you go to Jean-Claude Van Damme, I love, what was it? Weight of Death was good. The Order was good. Six Bullets was pretty decent. I like the Shepherd Border Patrol. I'm lollygagging for almost 5 minutes because this is awful. This is a bad Die Hard type of movie. It is dirt cheap. Dolph is in it. He is technically the star. But there's times where Dolph disappears for like 15 minutes. And he has slowed down. And it makes sense. The guy's in his 60s. He's had hip replacement surgery. what was it, 2017 or so? And you tell, like, when he tries to run, he can't. He can't do it. This seems like more of a precursor for Natalie Byrne, who I think was in Expendables 3, as she has a bit more fight scenes than Dolph. Because the plot of the film, Dolph Lundgren is an Interpol agent in Italy. He has a team, about 3 or so folks with him, including this lady played by Natalie Byrne. They're doing this mission, things go wrong, and some of the ineptitude and the direction is already apparent. Number one, the producer of this, not the director, the producer, did films like Blood of Redemption. I think did that, what was it, Ambushed? Or was it Altitude? Might have been Altitude. It was one of the ones I think Dolph Lundgren was on a plane. I think Denise Richards was in it. It might have been Altitude. It was Altitude or Ambush. I can't remember what the hell it was called. It's just pretty lousy Dolph films. So he didn't direct this, he produced it. Like, there's a bit where Dolph hits a guy with the butt of a gun and there's no sound effect. Imagine if I'm knocking this. You didn't hear, you know. No, you're supposed to go, or, like you hear something. Imagine, like, hits a guy, there's no sound effect. Dolph's in this, because of course it's cheap, because it's gotta be this abandoned looking warehouse. Punches a few, they're very slow, because again, Dolph is not a young guy. That's one of my things I keep saying. I love these guys, but age catches up with everybody. It will with me, it will with you, and these guys can't do films like they did back in the day. They just can't. That's why they either gotta be more, like Nicolas Cage. I keep bringing him up in these reviews because when I look at Willy's Wonderland, I look at Mandy, and you know, some of these other films, unbelievable weight of massive talent. I want to see Dolph do films like that. I want to see Van Damme do films like that. Really out of the box. But in a good way. Not like when Arnold Schwarzenegger did Killing Gunther. Not like that. But yeah, I'm sure Dolph did this to pay the bills. I would dare and fucking tee it. Easy money, get paid. Worked with this guy before who directed some of this stuff. Hey, it's a payday. But still, I wish these guys would get better movies, better roles, better quirky movies. It doesn't have to be quirky, but just, you know, better material. So, in the middle of this fuck up of an operation, Dolph gets taken hostage. Natalie Byrne shoots the driver. The operation's a mess up. They talk with local cops. They let them know we're Interpol agents. They go their separate ways. Dolph goes to this mansion in Italy where there's a party, and his wife and daughter are there. He has a sense that him and the wife aren't going on best terms. Him and the daughter hug. They go into the party. Pretty quickly after, bad guys get in. A bunch of bad guys. The main bad guy is Hal Yamanuchi. I don't know who he is. I just found it funny that his villain name is Goro. I'm like, Goro? If it was Goro from Mortal Kombat, it'd be a fun movie, but it's not. I'll get more into spoilers starting in a bit. What makes the film not work compared to like Command Performance felt like, number one, Dolph felt like more of a centerpiece. That was still quite a few years before this, so Dolph was able to move a bit better. Maybe just Dolph is directing, so he knows a little bit more of how to handle himself. Also, even that movie didn't seem as cheap, because you build up like a rock concert, and if the rock concert aesthetic feels a bit bigger in its motif and its environment, and again, because Dolph's playing a drummer, there's some unique kills, or feels like a different type of character. Here, there's some really cheap CGI blood, a lot of cheap CGI blood. Anytime someone shoots, it's a cheap CG. I don't know what you call it. It's not a squib, but a muzzle flash. The villains are very, very forgettable. In one ear, out the other. I dare you to find 3 things about them. Any of them. The action scenes are nothing to run home about. If you've seen any action films ever, maybe some people would like it. They put in the background. They're doing nothing. They're washing their drawers. They're, I don't know, relaxing, getting a BJ from a hooker, whatever, and they just need something in the background. Maybe you get something out of it. But I'm like, well, what? With all the Dolph Lundgren films and all the other action hero films and PM Entertainment and Canon movies, Canon films, and even like some of New Image and stuff, go watch Daily Outbreak with Jeff Speakman. Go watch Street Night with Jeff Speakman. Go watch Jeff Winkoff films like Last Man Standing or Mission of Justice. Like, there's so many other action films you can just watch or rewatch, and probably some you've never seen before. Riot with Gary Daniels. Rage Recoil with Gary Daniels. Just, there's so many others to pick and choose. Steel Frontier. I mean, there's so many. But anyway. Dolph, because of his slowed down age, he doesn't get to do a whole lot. He does maybe a few guns, maybe a few slow punches. Explosions, there's 2. One looks like a couple sparklers just shot up. And the other is the very last shot, which is an awful, god-awful CGI explosion that's so bad the movie fades out the golden credits as soon as possible so that we don't witness it as longer than we need to be. And I'm just going to go into heavy spoilers now. The bad guys want some gold that's buried in the mansion. And a lot of times throughout the movie, it's either the bad guys talking amongst themselves and they're not interesting characters. They're not Hans Gruber, Die Hard. They're not that. They're not Lance Henriksen and Stone Cold or Henriksen, Arnold Vosloo and Hard Target. There's nothing fun, intriguing, interesting, or notable at all about these villains. When the bad guys first get in there and Dolph's getting his wife and kid out, Dolph grabs a bad guy, slices the throat, and that's CGI. So for those who argue that the CGI, for the gun safety, this is a knife and this. There are slasher films that cost $5 that you do a slit throat. I got a request for a film called Blood Frenzy from 1987. I haven't seen it yet, but I saw a clip to know what I'm getting myself into. It's a practical blood effect of a throat slit. That movie probably cost $5.82, and that had a throat slit. But this can't do it. Don't have makeup effects. We lost it. When you can't do a fucking throat slit, yeah, you CGI blood and very obvious, garish. Really? So after shooting some, and it's one of those things that anytime there's an action, the camera's like this. The camera's doing this. So there's no tripod. It's someone holding it. And I hate that. It doesn't make it look realistic. I don't know why people thought that was the case. If you shoot that way, it makes it look like it's realistic. You're in the movie. No, it doesn't, because I actually keep still. When I'm watching a movie, I'm not doing this. Unless I'm fucking jacking it to a fucking porn. So, he gets his daughter to safety, and you don't see the daughter again until the end. So the daughter is safe. So if you're wondering if she's going to get kidnapped, she's going to be in trouble, no, she gets safe. He's going to stay because the wife is still in there. I don't remember how the wife got separated. I can't remember. He calls his 3 Interpol buddies, including Natalie Byrne. They get there. And then after that, after Dolph shows his slow age a bit more, because he can barely run, like, I feel bad because it feels like it hurts for him to run. After that, Dolph doesn't get to do a whole lot. I mean, there's a point where Dolph literally disappears for 15 minutes. Just we're with Dolph's wife, is with the other hostages, and she's doing surgery on this hostage who's got a bullet in her, or these other cops that arrive and they get taken hostage, or the bad guys talking to the guy who has the area, where's his gold, and there's a part where they lock him up in this room, and you don't care about any of it. Or you got Natalie Byrne trying to pull some moves, a little bit like MMA takedown stuff. Sometimes they have night sequences that's hard to see and you can't tell what the fuck is going on. Idea is night. It's going to be hard to see at night. But when you're doing an action scene, you actually want to see it. But there's a bit. I'll even quote it because I wrote this down because I was getting so bored. From 46 minutes to an hour, Dolph pretty much disappears. Either Natalie Byrne fights a few hostages at one point, escape. Some bombs are planted by the bad guys. And Dolph's not really doing much. And the movie's only, thankfully, an hour and 20-some minutes. So you did a shootout on the open plains, like open field, with no sense of danger because the sound effects sound weak. Everything, the muzzle flashes, everything looks fake and phony and CG. When someone gets hit, it's either darkly lit so you can't tell, or if you do see a little bit of CGI, they had no sense of danger. Dolph slowly moving around while the others are doing more of the work. Dolph fights this big guy. It's barely a fight. It's kind of them struggling, and Dolph maybe grabs something and hits him. And once again, one of those things where the camera's going like this, and then Dolph gets on the ground, gets a gun, shoots the guy. Super spoilers, what happens at the end. While Natalie Byrne and the others are doing more of the work because they're younger. And that's what happens in a lot of these movies. When these guys are getting older, they hire younger people that can move faster, move quicker, to do more of the grunt work. Well, Dolph, or they get whoever star gets to do little bits here and there. Which, again, it just makes you, with that sadness, a realization of, yes, these guys are old. They can't do this anymore because they're not. It's not 1994 anymore. It's not 1993. It's not even 1998 anymore. So that's why it would be nice if people give people like Dolph. But that's why I like Battle of the Damned. Okay, it's zombies and robots, and the robots look like shit, but at least it felt like something different, unique. Or Van Damme, when he did films, when he was doing films like Replicant. Oh, he's playing a serial killer and he's playing a clone. Okay, and Ringo Lamb, rest in peace. Ringo Lamb did a good job. Oh, In Hell. This is like a very serious prison movie with some more brutal fights, and Van Damme putting his heart on his shoulder in this performance. Okay. In Hell, Van Damme, alright. Wake of Death even. I mean, it's revenge, but it's some good performance, alright. Even Until Death. Decent for what it is. Not a favorite, but I liked it. I mean, like, Van Damme started to do that a little bit in the 2000s, and then JCVD. Which is funny, I remember Nicolas Cage liking JCVD and mentioning how much he liked it, and then funny enough, he did a movie kind of similar to that, Unbelievable Weight of Massive Talent, much later on. So, again, nice coincidence there. Like, that's what I want to see Dolph do. I want to see some of these other guys do. Like, could you imagine, as much as I love Willy's Wonderland, can you imagine if that was Dolph Lundgren? Yeah, like, that would have been fucking fun. Or, some other movies, I mean, they're out there. But no. And that's the thing, I like Dolph, and it's But no, he's got like this series of movies coming out, and he's doing like one or two with Scott Adkins and some other stuff, and I don't know, man. Because again, Dolph, he can't move that much anymore. He can't do the kicks. His hips hurt. He can barely run. And when you cast him in these action hero movies, and your action hero can't do much, there's got to be someone that goes time out. But again, it's put in there for a paycheck and name value. And the finale is not much to say. Dolph, and Natalie Byrne, they get in a car. They get to the bad guy who's got Dolph's wife. Dolph says, let's make a trade. He gets some wonky editing. Like, there's a little shootout, and the girl, I think, gets hit. Natalie Byrne gets hit. But then Dolph shoots the guy, and it just, again, the sound effects and the blasé music and the lackadaisical direction, like, nothing perks you up. I mean, this should be called Hard Night Failing, for fuck's sake. And that's a stupid title, Hard Night Falling. What the fuck does that even mean? What the fuck is a Hard Night Falling? Tell me what it means. What the fuck does Hard Night Falling even means? I don't know what the fuck Hard Night Falling means. Must be, I don't know, a bad night that you got drunk and you fell and cracked your head open? Is that what happened to the director and then he tried to make this fucking movie? But Natalie Byrne isn't dead. She gets back up. When Dolph does this trade with the bad guy, the girl shoots at the bad guy. Bad guy gets in the truck, leaves. And the Natalie Byrne or someone's like, oh, I guess he got away, huh? Then, you know, the cops are there. Everything's fine. Dolph's with his wife and kid. Cut to the bad guy driving. There's a bomb in it. It blows up. Bad CGI. Movie's over. And again, I sit there and go, just go watch Command Performance with Dolph Lundgren. If you want to see Dolph in a die-hard type of situation. Even Detention. And I wasn't big on Detention. I just wasn't. I wasn't big on the kids, the teenagers, whatever they were. But sadly, that's better than this movie. Like, I would recommend Detention, which is a die-hard in a school type of thing where Dolph is a teacher. Like I said, that's a film I wish was better, but I could watch that over this, absolutely. So again, if you want Die Hard in a scenario, Die Hard in a blank with Dolph, Command Performance Detention is more of a better recommendation than this movie. Only watch this, number one, if it's a paid request, or two, if you're a die-hard Dolph fan and you want to watch every movie Dolph's been in. And I love the guy, but again, you look at films like this and you go, sometimes you gotta look at your money, save it up, look at your finances, and try to figure out some retirement plan, man. I mean, yeah, you do keep doing these movies and get an easy paycheck, but it just, when you see one, you see two. When you see two, you see five. And if all five of them are bad, I think less and less people are going to be gung-ho about your next offering because they remember the last 3, 4, 5, 7 bad offerings before. But you know, with these action heroes, to be fair, there's always going to be a certain audience. But yeah, this is just an awful movie. Awful action movie. Fairly dull. Very boring. Very cheap. And again, it's just sad to see, because you can see Dolph's age in this quite a bit. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.